Just a second. So here we have all these words: governor, scientist, politician, okay, a lot of people. And then I picked the example of Paulo Gustavo because he's very famous and now he's going through this hardship with COVID-19. Okay. So here we have the words artist. The answers to number 3, okay, guys, if you didn't finish, we have here artist, librarian, traveler, actor, performer, and supporter, okay? So in number 4, we should make some sentences using the agent nouns from the vocabulary development box. These ones here. There are 2 examples for us. First, an artist I really like is Van Gogh. Another one, I've always wanted to be a photographer. Okay, so using the word performer. Paulo Gustavo is a great performer. I hope he gets well soon. Okay, so let me write down this sentence for you just in case you don't have it. So I will write it. He's a great performer. I hope he gets well soon. Okay. Now, I would like you to give me just one more example using the words from the box. You can choose any word you want. Any idea? Hi, Joyce. Good to see you. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. Good to see you, Joyce. I haven't forgotten you. I will send you the pictures today, okay, to the book. And who else doesn't have the book? I will try to do that as well. Okay, guys, don't worry. So I haven't forgotten it because I was really busy yesterday. I couldn't do it, but I'll send you the pictures, okay, the pages. So any idea, guys? No?
Driver.
Go ahead. Somebody was saying something? No? Okay, that's all right. Hey, good to see you, Mateus. How? I missed you in the first class. What happened?
Oh, I was kind of busy and there was no student, so...
Oh, okay, no problem.
Give you some paper.
Okay, that's okay, no problem. Don't worry. Hi, Cedrine. Good to see you. Oh,
Hello.
how nice. Oh, beautiful voice.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you, thank you. Well, what was the question, teacher? You asked a
Mm-hmm.
couple seconds ago, and
Sure.
I
Uh-huh.
don't listen.
Okay, no problem. I was asking about this box here, the vocabulary development box, the Asian nouns. So let me draw a line here so you know what we are talking about. And my question was, if you could make up a sentence using one of these words. Okay, so here, this box here, okay? I made a question for you here. I mean, not a question, but a sentence, right? I made up a sentence with the word performer. Okay? So I put
Oh, okay.
Paulo Gustavo is a great performer. I hope he gets well soon. I used the word performer. Okay? Now, what other sentence can you make? You can create whatever you want using, go ahead.
The scientist of New Zealand is a very talented guy.
Perfect. Very good, Cedrini. Awesome. Okay. Very good. Scientist. So this is super easy. Okay, guys, just for you to know that we use agent nouns almost every day when we talk to people who perform or people who do things, okay? All right, let me clear my annotations here. And let's go over to number 5, okay? You're going to listen to the story behind the photograph in exercise number 1. This photograph here, this picture, okay? Read the sentences first and choose the ones that you think are true, okay? Take a look at the sentences first. Okay, we have here, let me zoom in. And I'll give you a minute to read the sentences in silence and see if you understand, okay, before you listen.
Marble.
Okay, guys, yes. So is everything okay? Is it clear?
Yeah.
All right. So what are you supposed to do? What do you have to do?
And the number 5, we have to listen. The
The
story
story.
behind the photo, and answer what is true and what is not.
Choose the
Oh,
ones that you think are true.
excellent. Very good. So you're just going to choose the ones you think are really true. Okay? So let me just highlight this. You see how important it is when we are doing a test. It's very important to observe the instructions. So here, the ones that you think are true. Okay? Okie dokie. So let's just listen.
Hello, and welcome to Scientists and Explorers. I'm Jan Smith, and in today's podcast, I'm going to tell you about a famous photograph from space called the Blue Marble. There are lots of photos of the Earth from space. So, why is this one special? Well, here's the story. On December 7th, 1972, the Apollo 17 spaceship was returning to Earth. There were 3 astronauts: Eugene Cernan, Ronald Evans, and Harrison Schmitt. After around 5 hours, they looked out the window and saw this amazing sight: the whole planet shining out at them against the blackness of space, so clear and colorful. They were lucky because the sun was behind them. That's why it was so bright. Just imagine what it was like for these guys, 29,000 kilometers from Earth. Actually, astronauts weren't allowed to take photos. But what did they do? Did they follow the rules? No. It was so amazing they grabbed the onboard camera. All of them took photographs, so no one knows who took this exact picture. But it's the first clear photograph anyone ever took of the whole Earth from space. It's one of the most famous images of all time, and nobody can be sure who the photographer was.
Great. So just a moment, guys. Let me just ask my mother here to shut up just a second.
Tá travando tudo.
Okay, guys. guys. No, it's because someone was
Problem
talking.
with internet.
Yeah, my connection is not good. I just had to mute because somebody else was speaking here. So I'm sorry about it. Okay, guys, so let's check out which ones you believe or you think are true. The first one, according
I
to the
think
listening, of course, right?
True.
blue marble.
The first one, true or
True.
false?
Blue
Yeah.
marble.
Number two,
False.
False. False.
False.
false. All right. Number three, true or
False.
false?
True. True.
True.
True or
True.
false?
False.
I think it's false.
All right. Who thinks it's
Me.
false?
I'm too.
Cedrine. Okay. All right. Luis Rodrigo too. Okay, guys. Yeah, I guess you're right. It's false. And number
It's
four.
true.
It's
Mhm. Yeah. So it's amazing how they could take this picture because the earth is so bright and it looks beautiful from space, doesn't it? Yeah. Now, let's listen one more time, but this time with the transcript. So let's do it.
Hello, and welcome to Scientists and Explorers. I'm Jan Smith, and in today's podcast, I'm going to tell you about a famous photograph from space called the Blue Marble. There are lots of photos of the Earth from space. So why is this one special? Well, here's the story. On December 7th, 1972, the Apollo 17 spaceship was returning to Earth. There were 3 astronauts, Eugene Cernan, Ronald Evans, and Harrison Schmitt. After around 5 hours, they looked out the window and saw this amazing sight. The whole planet, shining out at them against the blackness of space, so clear and colorful. They were lucky because the sun was behind them. That's why it was so bright. Just imagine what it was like for these guys, 29,000 kilometers from Earth. Actually, astronauts weren't allowed to take photos. But what did they do? Did they follow the rules? No. It was so amazing they grabbed the onboard camera. All of them took photographs, so no one knows who took this exact picture. But it's the first clear photograph anyone ever took of the whole Earth from space. It's one of the most famous images of all time, and nobody can be sure who the photographer was.
Okay. All right. So I guess now we have all the answers, right? Isn't it amazing being able to take this picture? Whoa, that was really cool, right? And when did it happen exactly? Do you remember? When was this picture taken?
Yes.
1969?
Not exactly. Does anybody else have another guess?
7.
You were pretty close. Yeah, it was pretty close to 1969, but not quite that. Who knows?
1009. 72.
Yeah, 1972. Great,
72.
Luis Rodrigo. Fantastic. How nice. Very good, Luis Rodrigo. 1972. Apollo 19 mission. So, yeah, that was some time ago, right? Not a few years ago, a long time. So,
15
people, let's take a look at this other tip here for listening skills, right? Listening for specific information is so useful when you need to find out important details. Details often include names of places and people, dates, and numbers. Focus on these details as you listen to increase your comprehension. Okay? So this is very important when you want to understand something better. It's important to focus on details like places, people, dates, right? Like I asked you now, when this photo was taken, and sometimes names of people are also of great interest. So I just highlighted a few items here so you know that the focus is to increase your comprehension when you listen, okay? Great. Now, we've already checked the answers to the podcast, and now here in number 7, let's take a look at this summary. Read the summary, then listen to the podcast again. Find and correct the 3 mistakes. So here we have information about the podcast, and there are 3 mistakes in the account in the summary. Before you listen, I highly recommend that you read the text and then I play. Okay? So let's take a minute to read it carefully. Okay? All right, people. So let's listen one more time and find the 3 mistakes. Okay?
Hello, and welcome to Scientists and Explorers. I'm Jan Smith, and in today's podcast, I'm going to tell you about a famous photograph from space called the Blue Marble. There are lots of photos of the Earth from space. So why is this one special? Well, here's the story. On December 7th, 1972, the Apollo 17 spaceship was returning to Earth. There were 3 astronauts, Eugene Cernan, Ronald Evans, and Harrison Schmitt. After around 5 hours, they looked out the window and saw this amazing sight. The whole planet, shining out at them against the blackness of space, so clear and colorful. They were lucky because the sun was behind them. That's why it was so bright. Just imagine what it was like for these guys, 29,000 kilometers from Earth. Actually, astronauts weren't allowed to take photos. But what did they do? Did they follow the rules? No. It was so amazing they grabbed the onboard camera. All of them took photographs, so no one knows who took this exact picture. But it's the first clear photograph anyone ever took of the whole Earth from space. It's one of the most famous images of all time, and nobody can be sure who the photographer was.
All right, people.
Mhm.
So, do you know the mistakes? Do you know
The
which
It's not
part
3
is?
hours,
Not
but
3
5
hours,
that was
hours.
5
9
hours.
hours.
Ah, great. So the first one is here. Okay.
And all of them take photographs.
All of them, actually, all of them took photographs. Very good. Let me just change the picture, the color here. Sorry. Just a moment, guys. I will try to use pink instead. So here, this is wrong. All of them took photographs. And where is the other mistake?
The other, I don't know.
Does anybody know?
I don't know.
I don't know
Sorry,
the last
teacher.
one.
Can you repeat, please?
Sure. There is one mistake missing. Okay, there are three mistakes.
I
So
know,
we
I know.
found two here.
In the Earth in the sunlight in 3019 is actually 2019.
Oh, great, Sadrine.
29, 29.
Congratulations. Yay,
29.
very good. Yeah. Here the word is all, and here it's not 39, but it's actually 29. Okay, so they were closer. It's bad writing with a mouse, but it's 29 kilometers away. Okay, all right, let's check it out. Let's listen to one more time. Let's listen to that
Hello, and
podcast.
welcome to Scientists and Explorers. I'm Jan Smith, and in today's podcast, I'm going to tell you about a famous photograph from space called the Blue Marble. There are lots of photos of the Earth from space. So why is this one special? Well, here's the story. On December 7th, 1972, the Apollo 17 spaceship was returning to Earth. There were 3 astronauts, Eugene Cernan, Ronald Evans, and Harrison Schmitt. After around 5 hours, they looked out the window and saw this amazing sight. The whole planet, shining out at them against the blackness of space, so clear and colorful. They were lucky because the sun was behind them. That's why it was so bright. Just imagine what it was like for these guys, 29,000 kilometers from Earth. Actually, astronauts weren't allowed to take photos. But what did they do? Did they follow the rules? No. It was so amazing they grabbed the onboard camera. All of them took photographs, so no one knows who took this exact picture. But it's the first clear photograph anyone ever took of the whole Earth from space. It's one of the most famous images of all time, and nobody can be sure who the photographer was.
Okay, so I guess everything's right. Okay, 5 hours, 29,000 kilometers, and all of them. And were they allowed to take pictures?
No,
No, they weren't. I don't know why, but they weren't. But there was a camera on board, and they grabbed this camera and took pictures, all of them, right? So I just imagine here how they felt when they saw this image. Yeah. That's amazing, isn't it? And they were just over the United States. They were flying over the US when they took this picture. Okay. All right, guys. Why is it so special then? Do you know why this picture became the picture? Why? Because nowadays there are so many pictures of the planet. Why is this one so special?
Because it was the first one
Oh,
on the
great,
planet.
Satrina. Yeah, exactly. It was the first one ever. Okay, that's why. Great. So now that we are done with this page, let's move on to page 65 and let's see something about what these guys eat when they are traveling in space. So, first of all, let's take a look at adding focus, which is another thing we do when we are speaking. I guess you've noticed already, when I'm speaking, sometimes I focus more certain words, and the native speakers, they do the same. It's not something linear. No, it has a lot of ups and downs. Okay? So, let's take a look at this. Let me zoom in. Look, guys, help your listeners follow your main ideas when you speak by stressing the most important word in each phrase. This also helps to keep your listener interested. So this is a nice tip. For example, when you're giving a presentation, when you're presenting a project, or even when you are doing a job interview, and you want to keep your interviewer interested in what you're saying. Okay, so here we have some ideas. How can we do that? Okay, for sentences and WH questions, you stress the focus word by using rising and falling intonation. So, as you can see here, there are some arrows indicating when to go up and when to go down. So, let's listen to that, guys.
They looked out the window and saw this amazing sight. What did they do? Did they follow the rules? They looked out the window and saw this amazing sight. What did they do? Did they follow the rules?
Okay, people. So let's see the first one. They looked out the window and saw this amazing sight. What did they do? Did they follow the rules? You see, it makes all the difference how and when to do this. When we have, for example, WH questions, we finish the question with a weak stress. We go down when we ask WH questions. We start rising and then we go down. All right. So it's falling intonation. Now, when we ask yes or no questions, the questions that begin with auxiliary verbs, we have a rising intonation all the way through. Okay, because they are yes, no questions. So usually the most important information is at the end of the question. Okay, so that's why we go rising. So look, did they follow the rules? Okay, that's how we use it. And when we ask WH, we go down a little bit because the most important thing is usually in the beginning. So we go, what did they do? What did they do? Okay, guys, can you feel the difference? Okay, now here we have another situation. These are not questions, these are just statements, right? And the first one, we have a verb, and then we finish with a noun, and we are describing something. So usually we emphasize the verbs and we fall when we say the noun, especially at the end, right? So they looked out the window. Okay, you go down. And then here in the second one, when we have an adjective before a noun, we usually emphasize the adjective, right? So we can say, oh, and saw this amazing sight. They do this a lot, a lot. It's really common when you hear them speaking. You can just, you don't need to pay attention to what they are saying, but you'll notice the rising and falling intonation everywhere. When there is an adjective, they go up, right? It's really, really true. It happens all the time. Now, listen to these sentences and find the focus words and decide where the intonation rises and falls. Okay, so let's listen to that. See if you can get it.
1.
Why is this image so famous?
2.
It shows us how beautiful our planet is.
3.
It connects us with the universe.
4.
Does it help to bring us together?
5.
It changed the way we think about ourselves.
I'll play one more time, okay, guys? Because, yeah, the connection wasn't good. I will play again, okay?
1.
Why is this image so famous?
2.
It shows us how beautiful our planet is.
3,
It connects us with the universe.
4,
Does it help to bring us together?
5,
It changed the way we think about ourselves.
Oh, so have you noticed the differences? The intonation rising and falling. Yeah. The first
Yeah,
one, the first one, what do you think?
I think it's famous and the arrow sets down.
Mm-hmm. So remember,
Why?
even though famous is an adjective, here it's a WH question. So because of that, we start rising and then we go down. Okay. So why is this image so famous? So we go down at the end of the sentence, right? So let's try to draw some arrows here. Just a moment. So here we go up. We are going up here, okay? And then by the end, we just go down, okay? This is more or less what happens, okay, guys? So why is this image so famous? Okay. Now, number 2, what do you think?
Shows up.
How?
Shows us, how?
How? I'm plant is down.
Okay, so how beautiful our planet is. So here, beautiful goes up, okay,
Yes,
and
goes
here
up.
it goes down, okay. Exactly. Why, guys? Because when it's a statement, we emphasize the verb and the adjective. Okay, good. So it shows us how beautiful our planet is. Okay. Number 3, where do you think we go up? Where do you think we go down?
It connected.
Okay, the verb, it connects us. And then when do we go down? Universe. All right. We go down there. Okay. It connects us with the universe. We start up here and then we go down. Okay. Number 4, guys. Now it's a question.
Up to.
Rising. It's a yes, no question. Look, yes, no questions. We all the way up from the beginning. We go up all the way. Okay, I'm going to exaggerate here a little bit. So, does it help to bring us together? You see, you create this kind of sound, okay? Of course, I'm exaggerating, but naturally we go up when we ask yes, no questions. Number 5. Here we have a statement. So it changed the way we think about ourselves. So the verbs all the time going up, okay? About ourselves. So here we go down, okay? So it changed the way we think about ourselves. Okay, so we start descending. We really fall, okay, our intonation. So let's check the answers, guys. Oh, they just write. Oh, how boring. Rising arrow on image, falling on famous. So here we have the rising because it's the beginning, and then when we finish the WH, we go down, okay? So the second one, the arrow rises, then falls on beautiful. So actually, finally at the end, right, it rises here, it shows us how beautiful our planet is. So here, this is not really correct because we fall, we go down by the end of the sentence. Okay, guys, so here we don't fall on beautiful. Much to the contrary, we emphasize the adjective. Okay. Number 3, connects. Yeah, the verb, it goes up and it falls on universe. Yes, number 3 is right. Number 4, rising on together. Yes, it's a yes, no question. It starts with auxiliary. So yeah, we go up. Okay, and number 5, rising on changed and think, the 2 verbs. Yes, and then we go down on ourselves, just like we did. Okay, all right, people. So this is a very nice way to improve your speaking skills. When you start working with intonation, you sound better, you express yourself better, okay? That's very nice. Okay, everything correct. So here in number 10, they say we should find a photo that you like. Write a few sentences about it. Mark the focus words in each phrase and practice using rising and falling intonation. So then you can read aloud to your partner. So here we just have an activity that you can do if you want. You just choose a picture, just like I did in the beginning. I showed you a lot of pictures from the comedian that is in hospital now. His name is Paulo Gustavo. I showed you those pictures and I said a few things about him, right? But in your case, to practice, you can do the same. You can choose a picture. It can be a celebrity or any other picture. And then you can maybe write 2 or 3 sentences and share, okay? But this is optional, only if you want, okay? So now, guys, let's take a look at the grammar in the story before we actually talk about the food they eat in space, because this is so curious. I've always wanted to know what they eat up there. Okay, so before we see the text, because in the text there will be a lot of words in this category that we call quantifiers. So what are quantifiers? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, let's take a look. Here we have words like both, several, most, and all. Like we saw in the previous picture, all of the astronauts, all of them took a picture. That's a quantifier. Okay. So guys, let's take a look at the box with the explanation and let's highlight some things. Let's take a look here. I would like a volunteer to start reading the first one. Do we have a volunteer?
Me.
Okay, go ahead.
We use it to call quantifiers. How can I say that, teacher?
Quantifiers.
Quantifiers. Usually before nouns to talk about the number of people or things.
Great, thank you. That's it. So first we know where to use them. What is the best position for quantifiers? Before nouns. Okay, great. Now, next one, do we have a volunteer?
Me.
Go ahead.
We use both with a plural noun to talk about two people or things.
Great, thank you. So usually when we use both, it's because we are talking about two people or two things. Good. Example here. Can we have an example? Volunteer,
Eu.
go ahead.
Both astronauts and satellites have taken photos of Earth.
All right. Thank you, Jose Guilherme. Just pay attention here. This word, very important. Let's try to say again. Both.
Both.
Both. Yes, like boat. But it's not really boat. It's in the end. So both.
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 Okay.
Yes. And here, satellite.
Meu Deus, satellite.
Satellite, yeah. Satellite. Okay. So both astronauts and satellites. Okay. Good.
Okay.
Very nice. So as we can see here, we have two things or two people or two professionals. And then when we are referring to two, we can use both, right? To say that both of them did something, okay? Now, we use several plus of the optional, okay? Plus a plural noun to talk about some of the people or things in a group. So we are saying that a great amount of people, several, okay? So here, example, there were 17 Apollo missions to the moon. Several missions landed on the moon. Did you know that, guys? Several missions actually landed on the moon. That's great, isn't it? Now, let's see the next one. When do I use this one here? Most. Do we have a volunteer?
But
Go ahead.
we use must with a plural noun to talk about the majority of the people or things in a group.
Oh, right. Great. So when we use most as a quantifier, we use it with a plural noun. Okay. So let's see the pronunciation, guys. Most. Most.
Most.
Yes, just like boat. Boat. And here, both. 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 So most. Most. Okay? So most comes before a plural noun to say that the majority of the people or the majority of the things are the things we are relating to, we're talking about. Okay? So example, most images of Earth weren't as bright or colorful as the blue marble. Okay? Most images of Earth weren't as bright or colorful as the blue marble. Okay? So the last one, can we have a volunteer to sum it up? Hey, Luis Rodrigo, so cute. Is that your brother? Yeah.
No, my children.
Oh, your children. Oh, how
My
nice.
daughter.
Oh, your
My daughter.
daughter. Oh, so cute. How old is she?
1 year in for now.
1 year and 4 months. Oh, so cute. Congratulations.
1
Oh,
year agora dia 4.
oh, how nice. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, how nice. Yeah, I know. I know children. When they are around, they really want to go on our laps when we're in the computer. I have a nephew and he does the same thing. Very nice. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So Do we have a volunteer to read the last one?
Can be me.
Go ahead, please.
The last one, we can use both several, most, all, plus of, plus pronoun to talk about people or things that we have already mentioned.
Mm, okay. So things that we have or people that we have already mentioned. Congratulations, Adrini. Thank you so much. So can you go ahead and read the example, please?
Yes. There were three astronauts. All of them took photographs.
Good. All right. Pronunciation. All, all of
All,
them. Yeah,
all of them.
all. Yes, as if it were the letter O. Okay, all of them took photographs. Even though we write with the letter A, we pronounce as if it were the letter O. All of them.
Okie dokie.
Yes,
Thank you,
great.
teacher.
You're welcome. So here, as we can see, I'm referring to something that I mentioned before. So I can use these quantifiers to refer to those things, either both, several, most, or all of in this situation. So now that we know about it, we know the quantifiers, when to use, let's see the text. Okay, let's take a look. What do these guys eat when they are traveling in space? So let's take a look. I hope we have the audio for that. So look, choose the correct options to complete the text. So here they want us to read in silence and choose. Let's do this together, okay? I will try to go until number one, and then the rest you do by yourselves, okay? The quality and variety of food for the Apollo astronauts were much better than for astronauts on previous missions. Hot water was available, so they could eat freeze-dried fruit foods, and the food was tastier. So, what is the best option here? Both or several?
Several.
Great. Yes. Even though we have a plural noun, we are just talking about one thing. Freeze-dried fruits. Freeze-dried foods. What are these? What are these foods? Do you know? What are freeze-dried foods?
Freeze dry is. Can I speak Portuguese?
Try to compare.
Okay. It's like a dehydrated fruit.
Oh, just okay. All right,
Like,
dehydrated. Yeah, because they
yeah.
take all the liquid from the food. Okay, I understand. So we say dehydrated actually, not dizzy, but
Dehydrated. Okay.
dehydrated. Great. And yeah, I even got mixed up with that one. So it's dehydrated food. Yeah, sure. And some of them are frozen. So you need to put in a special compartment like a microwave in the spaceship or the rocket where you can make the food edible, right? So yeah, freeze dried food. Very nice. So I would like you to read on and choose the other options. Okay, in silence is better. So I'll give you 2 minutes to do that. Okay, yes. Do you have the answers? Let's check together. Let's say, what do you have for number 2?
Exhaust.
Yeah, great. Very good. Yeah. And you see how interesting it is that they choose some utensils to put the food inside that doesn't let the food gravitate around them. So they need to have special bowls so they can keep the food inside. So that's why they call it a spoon bowls. I will show you a picture. Okay, so you know. Number 3, guys. What do you have for number 3?
Both.
Okay, both. We are mentioning 2 things. Great. Number 4.
Most.
Okay, great. Number 5.
Several.
Yes. No.
No, most.
Yeah,
Got it.
most of. Yeah, not several of. We don't usually say several of. Okay. If we said several, you would have to eliminate of and the. Okay. It would be
Yeah, makes sense.
several.
Makes sense.
Yeah, several food items apart from. Yeah. Okay. When I read, I also saw several, and then I saw of and the, and then no, we can't. So most of is the best, right? Number 6. What do you have for number 6?
Oh,
All. Yeah, the first one. Great. All new foods for their smell. Did you see that? How interesting. Food smell is a big issue because if you have bad smell in the spacecraft, wow. And there is even this mission here that happened in 1976 that they had a terrible food smell and they had to return to Earth before completing the mission because you can get actually sick because of the smell. So astronauts have to abort the mission. So that's a big concern, a big concern. All right. Very good. Everything right, everything correct. And just to finish now, let's expand a little bit more using those quantifiers. Okay. Complete the sentences using the words and phrases in the box you have there. Most, both, several, all of, and all. Okay. So let's do the first one together. On Apollo 11, Neil Armstrong, and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon.
Both.
Yes, that's great. Both Neil and Buzz walked on the moon. Some people believe it was only Neil Armstrong, but later Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon as well. Okay. Now, try to complete the other ones and then we correct. Okay, can we correct? Let's see. What did you put here in number 2?
I put all.
All astronauts. Yeah, it makes sense. They can all take something, but it has to be up to only 5 kilos. Okay, good. Number 3, guys, what do you have?
All of. All of.
Wait a minute, let's see. Charles Duke took a photo of all of his family. Yay, great. All of his family, and then left it on the face of the moon. Wow. How nice. Number
It's the
4.
crazy
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Although,
Most astronauts are men, pop.
yeah, very good. Most astronauts are men, right? That's a reality. Number 5.
Several.
Okay, very good. Several astronauts have died over the years. Yeah, because of accidents and things that go wrong, right? So
It's a dangerous job.
it is, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Really dangerous. So now, to finish that, imagine you are going to space and you can only take one image with you. What image would you take?
Me and the
Sorry, can you say that again?
me and space.
Se for foto da minha família, eu vou ficar chorando toda hora. Aí, eu não sei.
Yeah, it should be a
Tirando
picture.
foto com as lágrimas pulando.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I'm not saying the pictures that you will take when you get there, but the pictures that you will take with you when you leave planet Earth. Which picture from planet Earth will you take with you to space? That's what I got. Yeah. You can only take one image with you. Okay.
Probably
So,
a photo of my friends.
yeah, my friends, my family. Yeah. Probably I would take a picture of my family, like this astronaut here did. This guy from Apollo 16 mission, Charles Duke. He took a photo of all his family and he left it on the moon. Okay, so. All right, let me show you our Google Classroom page so you know some pictures I posted showing food they eat when they travel in space. So here we have one example of astronaut food. Okay, guys, there you go. Can everybody see that? Yeah, this is actually a video, okay? So it's it's quite long, but you can watch this video on Google Classroom, okay? The link is there. I will just show you the beginning, okay?
Hey guys, I'm Will from Tested. We are here at Johnson Space Center in Houston at the Space Food Systems Laboratory. I'm here with Vicki Claret, who's basically in charge of everything that the astronauts eat on the space station.
Well, at least U.S. provided food on the space station.
Okay.
We do have our Russian colleagues who are providing about half of the food that goes to the space station.
And they're separate but equal in the...
Separate but equal, but they do share.
Okay.
So there's a lot of food sharing that goes on.
So we'll talk about the food on the ISS now in a minute, but let's talk about a little bit of the history of space food first, because this is really interesting, and in order to appreciate what they're eating today, you have to really see where it came from and how it's evolved over the last 50 years.
It's evolved quite a bit.
Yeah, they will talk now about the history of space food and how it started. So I really recommend that you watch this video afterwards, okay? Let me go back to the other pictures that I took here. Actually, not that I took, but that I posted. There is this one here, which is an image of what these guys usually eat. This is like a regular meal, right? Check it out. Yay. So you see, everything comes in like plastic bags and other containers that will prevent the food from just gravitating, right? So you don't get all dirty because you're eating something. So it's very, very clean. They try to do so. Check out the ice cream. Look. This is what they mentioned by frozen dried, okay? So this is exactly what we were talking about. This is frozen dried ice cream. And they even sell that when you go to NASA in Florida. There is this little shop where you can try astronaut food. So if you want, you can try the ice cream there. They have it for sale. I don't think it tastes really good, but yeah, it's weird. It looks weird. And here we have an astronaut actually having a meal, and so you know what it is like. Look. So we don't want your food flying, right? So everything is inside safe containers. Hey guys. All right, people. So for homework today, I would like you to do the online practice, unit 6.1, okay, which is the last part. And there is also something here about quantifiers, just for you to check out to practice. So it's a great idea for you to do so. Let me show you here the platform. Here is our online practice. This is 6.1 vocabulary. So it's for you to revisit the agent nouns. Remember, we saw on Monday. So here you have to complete with the best suffix, okay, for each one. And then let me see if I can go next. We take the advantage that the internet connection now is better. Here you have a podcast. You listen to the podcast and you complete with the words in the box, okay? This is about the world's most famous photo. Here we have another podcast with questions to answer, okay? This is a listening practice, really good. I really advise you to do it, it's nice. And here we have the intonation, the pronunciation skill we talked about today, adding focus. Remember, when do we go up? When do we go down? So you listen and then you choose rising or falling, okay? And finally, we have the quantifiers. Oops, we have the answers. All right, guys. So try to do that, okay? That will be really good for you. Let me take a picture, shall we? We have to take a picture now of all the students so we can confirm the attendance. So Oh, guys, thank you so much. I love seeing you. Oh, how nice. I miss you so much. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Great. Now I need to take another picture with the participants. Here, let me take another picture there. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Great, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, do your homework, do your online practice. Okay, guys. Thank you, Gio. Thank you, Luis Rodrigo. Congratulations for your daughter. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cedrini, thank you so much. That was amazing. Please come again, okay? Come on Monday.
Okay. Thank you.
Michelle
Bye.
Barbado,
Bye.
Mateus, Joyce, I will send you the pages, okay? Take care, guys. Bye-bye. See you. Bye, Mateus. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.